Hello students, let's start our class. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter from your Democratic Politics. The name of the chapter is Outcomes of Democracy. How do you access democracy's outcomes? Democracy is the better form of government when compared with dictatorship or any other alternative. We felt that democracy was better because of it promotes equality among citizens, enhances the dignity of the individual, improves the quality of decision making, provides a method to resolve conflict, and allows room to correct mistakes. Dear students, we face a dilemma. Democracy is seen to be good in principle, but felt to be not so good in its practice. This dilemma invites us to think hard about the outcomes of the democracy. Our interest in and fascination for democracy often puts us into taking a position that democracy can address all socio-economic and political problems. The first step towards thinking carefully about the outcomes of democracy is to recognize that democracy is just a form of government. Accountable, responsive, and legitimate government. The most basic outcome of democracy should be that it produced a government that is accountable to the citizens and responsive to the needs and expectations of the citizens. Democracy is based on the idea of deliberation and negotiation. Democracy ensures that decision-making will be based on norms and procedures. The right and the means to examine the process of decision-making known as transparency. Democratic government do not have a very good record when it comes to sharing information with citizens. In substantive terms, it may be reasonable to expect from democracy a government that is attentive to the needs and demands of the people and is largely free to corruptions. The record of democracy is not impressive on these two counts. There is one respect in which democratic government is certainly better, that is alternatives. The democratic government is the legitimate government. People wish to be ruled by representatives elected by them. They also believe that democracy is suitable for their country. Our next question is, how is democracy a better form of government? People prefer democracy because people are their own masters. In a democracy, every individual has a right to vote and choose his representatives in the government. The government is of the people and the laws are made by the people. In the government, laws are made to protect the liberty and freedom of the people. In a democracy, no particular religion, region, race, or language is given special preference. All individuals are given equal rights and freedom, and there is no discrimination. The government is not by force. The opposition parties are allowed to criticize the government. Since every individual is given equal rights, there is less danger of conflicts in society. There are less conflicts based on caste, religion, or region, and less social tensions in society. In politics, dignity of the individual is cared for. Why do some people think that democratic government are less effective? Or is the democratic government efficient and effective? It is true, some people think that democracy produces a less effective government because non-democratic rulers do not have to bother about deliberation in assemblies or worry about majorities and public opinion. They can be very quick and efficient in decision making and implementation. But democracy is based on the idea of deliberation and negotiation, so some delay is bound to take place. Most democracies fall short of elections that provide a fair chance to everyone. Democratic governments do not have a very good record when it comes to sharing information with citizens. Democracies often frustrate the needs of the people and often ignore the demands of a majority of its population. Transparency is the most important feature of democracy. Analyze. Transparency is the most important feature of democracy. Under democracy, a citizen who wants to know if a decision was taken through the correct procedure can find this out. He or she has the right and the means to examine the process of decision making. This is known as transparency. This factor would often be missing from a non-democratic government. Dear students, now we are going to discuss some of the important questions from this portion. When is democracy considered to be successful? The rulers elected by the people must take all major decisions and not the rich and powerful people. The elections must offer a choice and fair opportunity to the people to change the rulers if they want to. A choice and opportunity should be available to all the people based on political equality. How does democracy produce an accountable, responsive and legitimate government? Dear students, democracy produces an accountable government. Democracy produces an accountable government as the people have the right in choosing their representatives through the electoral process. These elected representatives form the government and participate in the decision-making process on behalf of the people. If these elected representatives do not work properly, people have a chance to not elect them in the next election. Democracy produces responsive government. Democratic governments are elected by the people and are responsible towards the people and parliament. These governments promote the formation of public opinion and take care of the needs and expectation of the people. Democracy produces legitimate government. A democratic government is people's own government. People wish to be ruled by representatives elected by them. They also believe that democracy is suitable for their country. Democracy's ability to generate its own support is itself an outcome that cannot be ignored. Thank you, students. Have a nice day ahead.